Hello. Hey everyone, I'm Northern Queen Alexis and welcome back to the channel and welcome Kovu. Nobody. No, he gives kisses. So, today I was sitting around and I was painting my Saturnine Terminator captain, and I got his fist over here. Bonk, 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 bonk. Yeah, he's so cute. I love this kitty cat. But I was painting this guy up and I decided that I haven't, well, I didn't decide. I did decide also, but I realized that I haven't done a reaction to the Warhammer, the Horus Heresy, uh, new edition cinematic trailer. And I was like, the what? I thought I did. Like, I honestly thought I recorded this a while ago, and apparently I just never did. So that's on me. So I thought today, why not? I'm sitting here, I'm doing nothing, and I'm relaxing in my house. So I decided to take a look at it. So let's jump right into this. Okay, so let's get into this. I got this pulled up on IGN. I could have pulled it up on Warhammer TV, but this is what popped up first. So let's make this big. I'm gonna lower this a bit just so I don't get hit with copyright strikes and everything.
This seemed to help him. A way he could express the enormity of his plan.
Jenny to crawl. Constantine Valdor. And oh my god, do I love her.
Not if the legions are successful.
Okay, so we're going to talk about all of this real quick. One, this is a Sister of Silence. If you don't know what a Sister of Silence is, they're the coolest faction in all of Warhammer 40k. They can actually see the Emperor for what he truly is, and because of that, they take a vow of silence. They are psychic nulls. They are not affected by warp powers at all. They are affected by, like, if warp picks up rock and throws rock at them, they die. But they're super cool. They cannot speak. Well, they can speak, but they take a vow of silence. They speak through ASL. I think it's actually American Sign Language versus like European Sign Language, because I know Battle Sign is European Sign Language and ASL is what the sisters use, but I'm not 100% on it because I can understand a little bit without reading the captions there, what she's saying. But Constantine Valdor is talking with Janita Krall. This is before the invasion of Terra. This is the drop site massacre that they're talking about, which is going to be happening later on in the trailer. But they're talking about the enormity of the Emperor's plan and how when the Emperor was actually talking to Valdor about his plan and he painted this beautiful mural and everything, it is the only thing that Valdor sees as kind of illogical that he's done, where it's like a meditation to him. It's kind of like I don't know how else to put it. He did this enormous painting and it burns at the end of this, and it's to show that he has lost his humanity, because this is just Kovu, do you mind? Thank you. He gave me such a look. He's still looking at me about this. Look at him. But anyway, and Jenny DeCroll is very pragmatic, where she's like, everything sucks. We need to prepare for the war and everything. And Constantine Valdor at this point is like, it might not be a war to end all wars. So yeah. And she is an Oblivion Knight. Oblivion Knight is the highest ranking Sister of Silence leader. She has the ability to push her null abilities onto other people to the point where she can make them sick if they have any any connection to the warp that isn't just your regular soul. They can't see her. She also can make people have seizures, kill them, freeze them solid sometimes. Like, they have the ability to freeze locks in one of the books, which is kind of weird. Kovu's just opening doors. They are crazy cool. They're faster than Marines and have a weapon that is technically stronger than the Marines' weapons, and that is the Executioner Great Blade. They also have access to a plethora, a huge armory that I'm really hoping GW brings to 3rd edition. I could talk on and on about the Sisters of Silence. They are my favorite faction in all of Heresy. Right next to like Runestorm Demons is my second favorite faction. Then my third favorite faction is Dangles. I love all of them. Custodians are cool too.
It depends on how deep the rot goes.
I do love that we have like Sanguinius there and everything. Now, this is a fantastic scene. I absolutely love this scene. So this is the drop site massacre. Okay, this is after the virus bombs and everything. This is the war of wars. That's pretty much kicks off the Horus Heresy. There was a war prior to this where all of the traitor legions killed all the loyalist stuff and whatever. But this is the actual first battle against loyalists, and around him is a bunch of dead Iron Warriors, and yeah, they're all laying amongst corpses. So they're all just laying there. That's a Centurion is just waiting there for them as Fellblades, Legion. Oh God, what are the Fellblade equivalents? I should know this off the top of my head. I am smirked. I, of course, don't have the actual book next to me. I only have the 3rd edition rulebook and the Libra Auxilia because I'm more excited about Auxilia than I am Space Marines right now. But it's the Fellblade chassis. I cannot remember their name, but in this scene right here, we can actually see... Oh, also, another cool thing. I gotta point this out every time I see it. So, do you see these 2 servo studs in his head? These 2 servo studs represent that he has been fighting for over 100 years each. No, these are 50 years, and then gold is 100, and then in 40k, the Ultramarines use silver for 100 and gold for 50. Yeah, so he's been fighting for a very, very long time. So right here, we see an armored column coming in with 2 Spartans and 2 Fellblade chassis. I'm just going to say chassis. Right next to them, we see a downed Imperial Knight or Chaos Knight. We don't know. It could be a Renegade Knight as well. It was the Drop Site Massacre after all. I don't think Chaos Knights actually existed yet. They existed on Terra during the Siege of Terra, but I don't think they existed at this point yet because demons started possessing machines towards the later part of the Heresy, more towards the Siege of Terra. But we could see that this huge armored column is coming in real quick, and these are all environmentally sealed vehicles, so that's why they can move through all of this. This thing is absolutely incredible. I absolutely love this thing, and I honestly think that this thing is going to be my meta in Heresy going into 3rd edition. I plan to bring 3. I got 3 of these things already. I immediately, the second the box set came out, I bought a box set of my own, and then I traded people or got them as gifts with this turret, because this turret is a 5-up invo save, and we actually get to see the invulnerable save used in this trailer, which I think is absolutely incredible. This is an automated turret that hits as good as a Space Marine. It is so cool, and it's 4 accelerator auto cannons just firing like crazy. I love it, and we get to see multiples in this shot. And watch, we get to see it. Fires its cannon, boom, invo save. And then this thing actually kills the Fellblade. Well, I wouldn't say kills it, it more like immobilizes it, and then it runs aground onto dangerous terrain. So it's not exactly that it's dead, it's more like it ran aground and probably the crew is dead. So later on in the battle, the traitors that win this battle would go out and take all of the equipment that can be salvaged, and then they would use that equipment along with all of the gene seed that they salvaged from this battle and use it against the loyalists in future battles. So now we actually get to see the Spartan in action. The Spartans are surprisingly fast. On the side of this one, this is Salamander 1. It's armed with the heavy bolter, quad las cannons on the side, and all the Marines getting out a Mark III, and they have the disintegrators, and I absolutely love the way the disintegrator is used in this, because it's a little plume of fire, and then it disappears, and then the thing bursts. It's so cool. I love that too. This weapon that he has in this scene right here. So these are veteran tactical Marines, but this weapon right here that he has, this is a combi melta. You could tell because it has the melta part here. It has the melta canister on the side. It's only good for like 1 or 2 shots, depending on how you decide to use it. We'll see later on in the trailer itself that he uses it as a beam weapon, which melta guns have a variety of ways that they can shoot. They can use a dispersed shot, which we see in like Space Marine and Space Marine 2 with the melta rifles and everything. But they also have a beam that they can shoot where it's a concentrated, you just hold down the trigger and the thing shoots a concentrated beam that just melts and liquefies everything that it touches because it's a melta weapon. But right now he's just using his bolt rounds. And then we get to see all the Marines get up because they weren't dead. We can see on a lot of them that they have bayonets and everything. And they're completely surrounded. They're flanked. They don't know what the hell is happening. So they just do what they can and fight everything. He's got a power maul. Power mauls are cool. And here in the background, we can see one dead. This looks like a Warlord Titan back here. We got a Titan over here. We have the manned weapon up here. We have a Fellblade chassis over here. We have something up on the hill over here. This is probably like a Sakaran or something. Or not a Sakaran. It's probably a Scorpius or a Helios or a Sakaran Arsis up here. We see several other dead units that I can't really distinguish. We got, whoops. That's not the screen I wanted. There we go. We got the Rhino here. We got a Rhino here. We got a Spartan. Looks like another Fellblade chassis, and these things are disintegrating, which is cool because that's the mark of disintegration. We have another chassis here. And then we have the Saturnine Terminators popping in. Now, cool thing about the Saturnine Terminators is the original Terminators that looked like this were never called Saturnine. The whole Saturnine thing is actually fan-made. So it's really cool that GW learned from its fans and called this suit of Terminators the Saturnine, because originally the Terminators came in 3 varieties. You had Tartaros, you had Cataphractii, and you had Indomitable. And Indomitable was the one that they made first, which is the 40K equivalent. And it looked really silly, and they looked all over the place, but they were all supposed to just be Terminator armor. And we can see this in a lot of Rogue Trader artwork. In fact, if I go grab my Rogue Trader book, I could show you all of this. But originally, all Terminator armor was just supposed to be Terminator. Then they distinguished Cataphractii and Tartaros towards the end of like 1st edition going into 2nd and 3rd. And then this suit of Terminator armor just went away, and it wasn't supposed to ever be used. I think they redid this Terminator armor to be the Tartaros armor where it was rounded here and to be a little bit less silly. But Warhammer fans know the silliness of this setting and really, really fell in love with this. And a couple of years ago, when the Death of Hope trailer came out, we actually got to see Saturnine armor looking like really badass. And I think GW was just like, yeah, we have to put this into the setting. Fans clearly love this. So they threw them into the settings. Now, granted, they don't have their cannon on the top of them like they did in the old lore. And they don't have that crazy tri-barreled bolt gun that they had. And they do have their fist, which is cool. But they can also get like a plasma blast gun on their fist, which is pretty neat. And then they have the disintegrators, which is awesome. They also have plasma bombards and fists. I don't know how I'm going to equip mine for Heresy. I'm thinking of going disintegrator fist because the fist is really strong. But they're really slow, but they teleport, so they can't do anything when they come in, but they can do something later on in the game. So we'll just have to see how they pan out. But the Saturnine Praetor, I think it is, or it's a Centurion, I forget. But the Saturnine captain dude they're insanely good and they can join any Terminators. So I'm kind of thinking of tossing this guy in with with Cataphractes and just going with them since I have 100 Cataphractes. But now I have 6 of these guys and I want to try them out. I absolutely love the paint job on them. The salamanders rocket. They look incredible. It is weird that they have the Aquila on their chest, but this isn't the twin-headed Aquila that the Emperor's children have. This is just the Aquila, which could have been something that Vulcan did. And Vulcan is the one that gave the Saturnine pattern and now the Saturnine Dreadnought to the other legions prior to this. It's kind of like how Lion handed over siege weapons to the Iron Warriors without realizing that the Iron Warriors had turned traitor. The Saturnine stuff was all given out by Vulcan because he didn't perfect it. He just made it easier to maintain and everything. And I have a sneaking suspicion, and I've been looking at this model very carefully. I think that the internal skeleton of this matches Games Workshop's Centurion armor, or at least it's supposed to. And the Centurion armor was the evolution of the Saturnine armor that was rarely used in the Heresy. And then in 10,000 years, it was used more and more because it was easier to maintain than the Saturnine stuff, which eventually all got lost or destroyed throughout the Heresy, throughout the Scouring, throughout the War of the Beast, throughout, what's the other one? The Sisters of Battle Uprising. What was that called? Why am I drawing a blank? The Age of Apostasy. And all of those other events that happened prior to 40k. And, losing technology is kind of the Imperium's thing. But this armor looks absolutely incredible. I can keep talking about it. I absolutely love it. Also, this unit can deep strike. And for 40k fans, it's like, yeah, every Terminator can, duh. In Heresy, in the year 30,000, they couldn't. Teleportation technology was extremely rare and extremely valuable. Like, Legions did have it. It's just using it too much risks losing it, and they couldn't properly maintain it. So teleportation was used rarely, and it was risky and dangerous. So the fact that the Saturnine stuff has deep strike is crazy cool. And I love the sound effect that they use. Like, listen to this. Well, I don't know if you guys can hear it because I'm keeping it relatively low just so I can not get hit by copyright. But the foof of it. And I love that it shows just how tough the Saturnine armor is by it just disintegrating multiple, like, Astartes and everything. This thing comes in, charges its plasma, and destroys the turret. And now teleports from where it was over here. It shunts over, which I'm pretty sure is not a rule. I kind of wish it was a rule where it can shunt. This would be like equivalent to 40k's uppy downy, where something goes into reserves, comes back, and teleports somewhere else. Very common in 10th edition, rare as hell in Heresy. Like, this kind of move would be game changing. I'm fairly 1,000% sure it can't do that in the game, but it's cool that it shows in a cinematic trailer that it can use a macro, like, warp jump to, like, jump from one spot up on a cliff to another. I think that's super cool and is absolutely amazing. And now we get to see the beam from the Meltagun as it charges up its plasma bombard, or whatever it's called. Also, the entire time, I think the animators just forgot that these are guns. Like, these never fire. And it's... Am I crazy? Hang on. I might be crazy. Okay, so I might be crazy, but I had to grab my Libra book. Okay? Because, yeah, I have to check this. Alrighty. Falchion! That's the name of the other tank. God, I'm so dumb. Where is it? I just turned to the Falchion, so I saw it immediately, and I felt real dumb. You're a heavy... What the heck are you? What are you under? Fire Raptor, Storm Eagle, Javelins, no. Armored? Praetor, Sakaran, Venator. Sakaran assault tank, Sakaran siege tank, yada yada yada. Scorpius. You're not a super heavy. What the hell are you? War engine. Okay, this is where the dreadnoughts are. Contemptor, Leviathan, Daredeo, Saturnine. And you have Deep Strike, don't you? Oh wow, you don't. Huh, that's so weird. I thought you would. Let's see. Disintegrator cannon, heavy plasma bombard, two photonic incinerators. Yeah, that's the nipple guns that it has, and it just doesn't use them in this entire like animation. I'm guessing because it's late in the actual battle that it just does not get a chance to use them, or they ran out of ammunition. I love this. I absolutely love this. I love that he's firing it as a beam. I love this. This is wallpaper worthy. Like, this is absolutely incredible. I love this so much. You get to see its giant disintegrator gun. You get to see its plasma bombard, like, charging up. Weirdly enough, this Dreadnought actually is kind of mid compared to, like, the Leviathan or compared to, like, just a regular Dreadnought. Hell, I'd even take the Castafarum over this thing. I think it's a little bit better than the Daredeo, but pretty much everything is better than the Daredeo. I think the Daredeo is like the worst of the Dreadnoughts, but it's also cheap for what it does, and it shoots a large blast, so you can't be mad at it. We haven't seen what the Castafarum can do yet, but if it can shoot the large blasts again this edition, then the Castafarum is still going to be the best Dreadnought. The Contemptor Dreadnought is really good right now with its double, like, what are they called? Conversion beam cannons. But overall, I think the Saturnine Dreadnought just adds that, like, it's just cool. That's it. Also, I think Warhammer Horus Heresy players or 40k players that play Custodes are going to want to grab this Dreadnought because this Dreadnought can be used as the like, you just put the fist and a different gun on it, and you have the bigger Custodian Dreadnought, whose name escapes me right now. But it's a really quick way of getting him. The Telemon Heavy Dreadnought. Thank you, brain. I love how my brain works. I do absolutely love the look of the palace. I love all of this. I think this is crazy cool. I love how it's Greco-Roman slash, like, it's like Greco-Roman meets not industrial, brutalistic architecture. I don't know how else to describe it. Like, that's what it feels like to me. Like, it's like religious dogma the building. It it almost looks like a pyramid. It almost looks like a Roman, like where a Roman senator would sit in a Colosseum. It looks like it just, it has this look to it that I absolutely love. And this is along the Himalayan mountains. This is the palace, the Fortress of Terra. Funny enough, we can actually name these two guns. These are the guns that come with. Thanks, brain. I love when I just completely forget what I was going to talk about. It's not the quad accelerator cannon. It's a quad. It's an interceptor gun that came with the original walls. What are they called? Oh my god, I'm drawing such a blank. Aegis Defense Line. This is the quad autocannon that comes with it, and there's two of them sitting here, and I really think that there should be a lot more guns here. Like, what the hell? Didn't at this point? I think it's at this point that Valdor has the Emperor has already sent for Dorn to come back because they know that the heresy is happening. They actually knew about the heresy way long ago, depending on how you interpret the lore, because technically the Emperor knew that some of his sons would betray him. He didn't know the exact number, but he already planned for it, and his original plan was to wipe them out with the loyalist ones, and then put the loyalist ones in charge of, like, different parts of space, and they were supposed to govern it, and then the Imperium was supposed to be prosperous and everything. But like all fascist ideology, it's rooted in traditionalism and can't work. But that aside, it's really cool how they just casually kind of mention that they knew.
The attack failed.
Hey, hang on a second. I know those spaceships.
How many?
Half the Legion.
Okay, so I don't know what this one is. I can't see it enough. But can I go back? Yeah, there we go. But that right there has 1, 2, so that is a... I can't see the front of it, but if I had to guess, this would be an Imperator class or an Emperor class battle cruiser or battleship. We have a couple of drop ships here.
With Horus.
I love that.
You're surprised?
Malkador is a fucking beast. Look at him.
Do you wonder if they might be right? Many will sympathize with their rebellion.
I am the Emperor's spear. What I think doesn't matter.
Yes, it does.
What now, then?
We make ready for a war that may never end.
Yep. So, cool thing about Valdor, especially at this point in the Heresy, this is right after the Webway War, where Magnus, did everything wrong possible, and he has already lost one of his closer allies when Dracneon was put inside a custodian and forced to run through the Webway. And then eventually Abaddon would find him, kill the custodian, and take Dracneon for himself. But that's a whole nother thing. Constantine Valdor eventually does become the King in Yellow in a future book, and then that book just kind of goes nowhere. And me and Victor had a whole long conversation about this and how dumb it is that the King in Yellow is back, and it's Constantine Valdor, and we know it's Constantine Valdor, and nothing has come from that, and it's been years, which he came back before or during the Plague War incident, and apparently he has an army of blanks, and it's like, I want something of that, but it sounds like it's a solution to a problem, and Games Workshop can't have that because they can never write a conclusive end to a story, except the Heresy, apparently. So yeah, damn, I've been going for 30 minutes. Whew. So there is, I do like Malkador's words here, because Malkador has always known that the Heresy was going to happen, as I've said before, but he sympathizes with them. He understands the reasons that they are falling to chaos. He doesn't like the idea that they're going to fall to chaos, but he's working on a way to prevent it in the future, creating the Inquisition, creating the Grey Knights, as a way of combating, there we go, combating the chaos. And I think one of his biggest regrets is not informing the legions that, hey, chaos is real and it's going to manipulate you. They do know this. They are aware that chaos exists, demons exist, but they're not demons to them yet. They're warp entities, and they know that they know about them. Lion knows the most about them out of all the Primarchs, because he fought them for his entire life, and even has a couple of buddies that are warp entities, the Watchers in the Dark. And I really want an answer to whether or not the Emperor knows what the Watchers in the Dark are, and because the Watchers in the Dark led Lion, when he woke up, into the Emperor's domain within the Eye of Terra, which is where the Emperor resides. And there's a part of the warp where the Astronomicon shoots out its glowing golden light. No demons can go there except for... and Celestine is constantly rebirthed there and goes and has to do her trials, and then goes to do Celestine things. But Lion went there when he went through the forest, and he went into the Emperor's domain. But the Watchers in the Dark took him there, and the Emperor never comments on the Watchers in the Dark, and the Lion never comments on the Watchers in the Dark. And I want to know if Malkador knows what the Watchers in the Dark are. This is a stupid side rant about things that are not prevalent or important to the Heresy at all, but this is what my mind focuses on. So yeah, this trailer, absolutely fantastic. It has 1 million views. That's amazing. And yeah, it's amazing. I absolutely love this trailer, and I am loving what they're doing with Heresy 3rd edition. I'm not going to tell you and be a whiny baby and be like, I lost all my stuff. I lost an entire army. I don't want to hear it from anybody else. Sisters of Silence are not even in this edition. I have 5,000 points of Sisters of Silence. They are not playable right now. I'm not going to complain about that because I know with each edition, things change. I'm still waiting for the edition where we finally lose Firstborn Marines. I've been preparing for that. I've taken all my Firstborn stuff and painted it in my Heresy color scheme and added it to my Heresy stuff. I am not worried about that. And anybody who is worried about third edition, please hear me out. Give it a chance. And just know that if you don't like it, you can still play older editions. Me and my buddy, we play third edition still. Like I'm building up a force for it, and I've played it on Tabletop Sim twice now, and it is a lot of fun. You could still play older editions. Heresy third edition actually looks really cool to me. I bought a whole bunch of books. I bought the box set, and I threw a whole bunch of money at Games Workshop for this. And I absolutely think it's going to be great. I'm going to test it out, and if it sucks, it sucks. I go back to playing second edition, no big deal. But I'm super excited for third edition, and I hope you guys are too. So if you enjoyed this video, please, do the YouTube thing, comment, like, subscribe, blah, blah, blah. And yeah, happy wargaming. Love you guys. Bye.